Monday, the last day of March. Uh, you know, see what's up. How y'all doing though? I'm gonna have to do that video. Anyway, I think I will. We're gonna get into this though. Let's go ahead and get this thing live and connected up, shall we? Add this thing on real quick. Get this green going. Let's see. Let me write this. Let me see. Some go. Some go. Let's see. What's happening? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you do? How you do? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Let me get this thing on. Welcome aboard. Glad to have everybody here. The last day of. Welcome on board. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate everybody coming through. I'm gonna see what we're working with today. Thank you very much. So if I got one hello. We're gonna see what we're working with. This might not be a long stay. We'll see. Just come and see what we got so far. I'm gonna be here for a little bit, see if anybody's gonna come through. So far, it's pretty quiet so far. But anyway, hope everybody's having a good day. The last day of March, maybe April 1st, where you are. It all depends. We're live and in detail. So if anybody wants to come through, feel free. I'm gonna check it out. See what we're working with. We're gonna be on for a little bit. Let's see how everything is going. For those who be like asking me, say yes, I'm very much wide awake today. I am very awake, feel good. So feel free to contact. Of course, I'll be working on the video after I'm done with this live stream. Got some funny video to put out. But anyway, see how everybody's doing today. Though. Hope the weather is good. It's pretty good. You know, good weather be making good results. And so we got a lot of good forecasts here. So we're gonna see what we're working with. Let's see. I know sometimes because of the YouTube, the algorithms, sometimes it just doesn't be coming through. So people be kind of like watching and then they don't say nothing and I don't know nothing. But anyway, just checking out to see what the scene is like. Again, hope everybody's doing good. Sometimes it's more than others, you know, it all depends. The Dodger thing about going to the White House, I wouldn't do it, but you know, I'm not them. But anyway. I don't know what that means in English. You got to tell me what that means in English. That might be a little too deep for my head. In another era and another time, that meant something totally different. But we not gonna say that on these channels. But it meant something completely different. Anyway, welcome aboard. I'll see how much people coming through tonight. I'm going to yeah, we'll go from here. We'll take a peek. We get a good amount. We do. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for coming through. Where are you coming from? That's a very distinctive name. I haven't heard a name like that since I lived in upstate New York. So do tell, because I'm used to like Polish descent. Okay, you said hello. I got you the first time. It's all right. They been canceled me. I don't care. I don't support him. I refuse. So you can tell him I said so. I don't condone what I see. First of all, um, you need somebody of a younger age in there. Second of all, coherent, not divisive. So tell me, tell me I said so. Wow. Okay. French. Okay. Pretty impressive. You don't get greeted in French. That's pretty good. Anyway, some colorful characters in here tonight. We're gonna see. Gonna be here for a moment. Let's see what we got. All right. Anybody want to comment? Feel free. I'm not getting a lot. Well, it's been pretty quiet tonight. Mm-hmm. Let me know what you think. So all everybody says is should go see their daughter should go to the White House. That's interesting. Mm, we shall see. We shall see. Anyway, thanks for hitting the likes up. And if you want to come on through, feel free. Welcome conversation today. What's up, Calvin? Oh, that's an interesting. I was more of a culture club dude. Even though Peter Wolf had a nice voice for Jay Giles, but I like culture club better. But that's a good question though. That's a good one. I might have to use Jay Giles band for another one. I like culture club better. You know what? Nothing. I like culture club better. Do you really want to hurt me? Time Clock of the Heart. Them songs hit back then. Now, I'm gonna say this for the record. And what was Culture Club? You gonna act like they don't play Karma Chameleon right now? 40 years ago, that song still gets played right now. You gonna act like Miss Me Blind wasn't? They had cuts. Once you get past the everything with Boy George, they had cuts. They had cuts. He used to get on stage with Luther Vandross, even though he got blew out. Culture Club was no joke. They had some cuts. You go ask somebody. Think I'm making this up. But I do like Centerfold. I did like Centerfold. And I like Peter Wolf. And you act like Culture Club. So when you mention Culture Club, you act like Culture Club isn't worthy opponent. Let's get this straight. Act like Culture Club ain't got no songs. You ask a question, then you get mad because I picked the other. Make it make sense. If you pick Jay Giles band, I just have to tip my cap and keep it moving. That's how I look at it. I listened to Jay Giles band, but I was more into Culture Club's music. That's just how it was. Maybe if you'd have picked another British band against Culture Club, maybe you get your command. Because let's be realistic, Culture Club is probably more comparable to Duran Duran. You could say Culture Club versus the Police. Any of their 80s acts you want to throw up. I think the J Giles band was catchy. 'Cause. 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 ' know that's your choice. But you see, when you ask someone a question, let's go to another question, okay? Because this is getting to be redundant. I'm not gonna be swayed. I like Peter Wolf. Alright, he alright. Let's not act like he's Michael McDonald, okay? Let's not act like he Kenny Loggins, okay? He was alright. Let's not get carried away now. He ain't Ball Skaggs. He ain't Robert Palmer. So let's not get carried away. Oh yeah, if anybody's watching live, yes. Now you if you're gonna ask somebody a question, you gotta either respect what they say or you just leave it alone. There's no getting into a whole lot of stew, especially for a band that ain't exactly that deep. I mean, you up here acting like Jay Giles' band is Aerosmith or something. They're not. I'm sorry, you ain't Steven Tyler in his peak in his prime. Not what happened to his voice beforehand. I can name a lot of rock bands. Just saying, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Peter Wolf had a good voice, but I take Lindsey Buckingham over him. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's why we keep questions moving, so we don't get into no conflict of interest. That way, you got any more bands or acts you want to mention? I like Culture Club songs more. I think Boy George had enough presentation as an artistry and versatility that moved me just a bit more. And I think that there are other acts that, if you want to make a compare and contrast, that were more comparable, I could understand. But if I got to be forced to listen to the two, I'm gonna listen to Culture Club. Ironically, both those acts had hits when I was a teen or before I was a teen, but I listen to Culture Club more. That's all, and I did because Time Clock the Heart was my jam, and that bass line, especially the long version, I ain't never hear Jay Giles hit that. Just saying. Now, you can sit there and tell me Peter Wolf was more talented. I'm not gonna argue that. But Culture Club did have songs on. Supremes, come on now. I like the Marvelettes, but come on now. Ain't no female band group gonna beat the Supremes. Okay, let's just. Now that doesn't mean that I don't like other female groups better. But when you put that songwriting with Holland Doja Holland, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. That's what made Donna Ross Donna Ross. Yeah, I like the Marvelettes, but the Supremes, come on now. I'm about them songs, yo. You know, them songs. That's always my argument. I'm about the songs. We can debate who's more talented. When we get up into your catalog, that's what it reads. And the Supremes have more. That's what separates. That's why Donna Ross is the ultimate female lead, as far as the group, as far as I'm concerned. I like the Marvelettes though, but you know. Okay, give me another one. I'm ready. I know I'm not batting too good tonight. Usually, I was cooking, you'd be like, yo, yo, yo. But anyway, go on. Okay. Be honest with you, Love Child is one of them cuts that was ahead of its time. But I just, I mean, when you get songs that, mm, mm, that's why I cringe when people don't call them the GOAT songwriters or don't put them in the argument. Ain't nobody came around as a tag team songwriting team matching Howlin' Dozer and Howlin'. Except maybe Gamble and Huff and Tom Bell. Maybe. That's about it. I don't heard nobody. Not Jammin' Lewis, not Evelyn Babyface. No. Nobody. Nobody. I do like Bernard Rogers and now Rogers, but Gamble and Huff is like the closest. The Highlanders are Highland. So I don't speak. Okay. Rick James. Because, again, better songwriter. And I like his voice better. Bootsy was a better bass player. And Bootsy could play with it. He was versatile, but Rick James got the songs. All right, what's happening? Ironically, Rick wanted to be in P Funk once upon a time. See, I would come back to how you write songs. Of course, what moves me. Bootsy bad though, and Bootsy got a story. Bootsy's almost like a Forrest Gump type, but Bootsy's almost like a Scottie Pippen. Mm. But Rick James was something else, y'all, for me. And his peak and prime about soul career. Mm-hmm. If we talking about musicality, Bootsy and the P Funk, that's the best musicality band. I put P Funk almost like with a jazz band. How scary it was. Now I'm on live right now. I play ball. I do play basketball. Throw football, do different things. But McCartney and Lennon, even though I listen to Edwards and Rogers more, but McCartney and Lennon, that's a dub. All right, cool. Thanks for coming through, though. I mean, I can't disrespect. Mm. I do like Edwards and Rogers a whole lot, and then just but McCartney and Lennon wrote like, thank you so much, appreciate that. There's nothing I, cause I gotta go with, you know, I'll be consistent with it. It's like if you ask me about Cole Porter, certain songwriters, I just have to give them they do. So, like I listen to the Bee Gees more. I Barry Gibb wrote great songs, but McCartney and Lennon were a standard. Blondie for me, because Deborah Harry was a distinctive personality. She was enough of a nudger, pre Madonna, pre Gaga, more versatile. But I did like Berlin all right though. Blondie's one of those acts because their hits were so big. That's what stood out for me. Funny you mentioned Berlin though. You never hear nobody talk about Berlin though. They had some impact though. They had some impact. I tell you how I know because Prince had the song on the Batman soundtrack with Sheena Easton, "The Arms of Orion." It was definitely a nod to Berlin. If you listen to that soundtrack, you know Heart. And I know about Bazio, but the Wilson sisters, bad. And Nancy, bad. Barracuda for life, yo, bad. Them girls could rock, and they could throw that slow stuff at you. They underappreciated actually. A little bad. I liked a couple of things about missing persons, but Heart for me though. You gonna rock tonight? Okay, I see what you're doing. I like how you switch it up for the folks who come live and say, "Oh, you don't know nothing about that." Bro. I was like, "Well, you about to find out." This is the thing. I grew up with what I call apartheid radio in America, so we didn't listen to just strictly R&B. In fact, this was before even hip hop started getting love. We had R&B, jazz, and then you have pop and country and gospel, and then you learn other things. Bless your soul. But music is like one of them things that there's no limits now. What we gonna do? Uh, this is funny because it's not gonna be my norm, but because I didn't diss them, but I gotta kind of say they didn't really knock me out with they funk. I gotta give it to Club Nouveau, and I don't really Doug J King like that, but Nouveau moved me more a bit more. Once I got past Let It Whip and Joystick, I thought the Daz Band were kind of loungy, and kind of for to come from Ohio, I wasn't like. I mean, they were good; they could play, but they didn't really go another level. You know, low second tier, high third funk band. I like Dayton band. I did Dad band from Beyond and Sun too. I'm saying Club Nouveau got the edge. They even sound because their sound didn't sound New Jack. Had an interesting thing that they was doing when they did Lean on Me, and of course Samuel came out of there. They were catchy for a moment. That wasn't a big Nouveau hit, but I liked it. Rumors was big, so interesting that you mentioned those two because they kind of had like what I call a mini peak in the '80s. Had a mini peak. It's kind of funny you mentioned those two because it doesn't really work, but then it makes sense because yeah, Black Panther. Love the first one. Like Blade, but I love Black Panther the first one, and I do believe, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I think he was gonna get the baton from Denzel Washington. Michael B. Jordan was gonna get the Wesley baton. I just that's my personal opinion, but I love the first one. I like Blade. And they say it didn't. You asking me which one I prefer? I just like Panther more. That's all. I mean, personally, I could have gotten all that with a Jim Kelly movie back in the '70s, if you must know. But just saying, look, if you're getting a problem with music, movies are real subjective, so we can't be wrong about our movie picks. Probably Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and again, that's been a long time. You asking some movies, you asked a while back. Been a while back. Believe it or not, for people watching, yes, I was what you call a movie holic. Much as movies, music, TV shows, preferably the old school though. I don't see a lot of stuff that really knocks me out. So nowadays, that's a pretty good one right there. Oh, you going on a horror tip? I want to say the car, but Christine was pretty creepy too. But I want to say the car, but it's close though. Now that's close. That's close because you going back. You going back. You going back. You going back like next you'll ask me Rodney Allen Ripple or Jamie Walker. I mean that's kind of how it feels, you know. And I do go back. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We cool. We just gonna have different opinion on a couple few things. Ain't no thing. never ever come across anyone that's like identical twin, because um, that wouldn't be fun. And also, life then went in different ways. I mean, there's certain things, and plus, depends on where you lived back in the day. See, I was between the East Coast and the South and the Midwest. And where I moved around, things was different. So things hit different. You know what I mean? Tell anybody who didn't have social media, you went to the South, you was behind the eight ball, and you in the East, you thought you was the eight ball, and in the mid, you was catching some, and you was catching none, and then out west, you were just in your own loop. What's happening? How you doing? Glad you here. Glad you here. Thank you for coming. I got another 30 minutes because I'm gonna do it an hour tonight. So feel free to come on in, give me your questions, your thoughts. Calvin is supplying a lot of good Q&A. You can supply Q questions. Let's do it. Let's get it. Hope you're having a good day on this last official day of March. I want to say the fog. Boy, you really taking it back. What I remember, and that's very faintly, a long time ago too. I just know it's just a matter of time. You're gonna say who's the better actor, Billy D. Williams or Calvin Lockhart? It's old school for real. Or Pam Grier and Shirley Fraser. That was yeah. I'm gonna say Underworld. And I did watch Twilight. It was alright. It was alright. It was bigger. But see, I'll tell you this before you go on. movies movies and TV are different for me than music. Sports, that pretty much goes well. It depends on what you ask me. But movies and TV, they really are, there's things I would probably say that would be contrary to some. Depends. When you mention certain people's careers and stuff, that's where you really get, you know, you'd be like, oh wow, yeah, yeah. Well, I just did it because to see what Again, it depends on how you look at it. I feel that way though too. People don't understand that if they look at her career, she always kept coming with a new song, new vibe. And that they drop a song like a prayer when she was already almost 10 years into her career. Okay, now you're talking my language. Uptown Saturday Night. And I like them both a whole lot for different reasons. Car Wash was almost like a musical. And I like Bill Duke's character a whole lot. Richard Pryor was hustling in both. Daddy Rich. But Portier and Cosby, and then you had Crack Me Up. Harry Belafonte is Marlon Brando, like that, and Calvin Locker. Never have so few been chosen so many. I can do that voice too. Never have so few, and I crack up about Calvin Lockhart. He should have been bigger too. And Ray Parker Jr. with that cameo at the cookout. Come and get it. With Roseland Cash. Flip Wilson. Loose lips sink ships. And you'd almost think I watched it last night. I didn't, but I used to love that movie. I used to watch it all the time. I dug it. And I love Dr. Boyd's commentary. Yep, that's my line too. Damn, and if you're a football fan, didn't Flip Wilson like he could have been Tony Dorsett's daddy? It's permanent because we deal with racism. It's permanent. That's how I answer it the best way. Oh, we could if we actually had to strip everything down and go and dignify. But it because of the way people are, yeah, it's permanent. People choose a lot of it too, especially the mental illness that's institutionalized systematic racism. They choose it. The powers that be. Richard Pryor got a video out. If you get a chance to ever watch it, he got asked. He said the rich people love. That's the truth. Pryor told the truth. See, because if you made everybody at least have accommodations and food, just basic accommodations, and we just played level playing field, we didn't have homelessness, we didn't have brutality, power, etc. You see changes, but then you got that's why people that's the things that you see. So it is permanent. Sad to say, but yeah, good one, Calvin. That's for real. Never have so few, so many, and then to have the Nicholas brothers, little Seymour. Oh, that was hilarious. And Big Percy. I use a lot of that. You know, with those footsteps. Oh, that was a movie. I really dug it. I dug it. And then you had what's the brother that the actor? He had the bald and for me, Paul Mooney. Even though Carlin is one of the greatest, but for me, Paul Mooney because he wrote for everybody. He ghosted so much, and I use him a whole lot. The protection for the direct complexion for the direction for the complexion for the direction for protection, complexion for the protection for the direction. I add for the direction. He said for the protection. I quote Paul Mooney a whole lot. Get your wake up call. Did you get your wake up call? And his live, I mean, and Carlin was bad. Okay, this dude is bad. Like can I keep it 100? We just talking about white comedians. Carlin, Lenny Bruce, Robin Williams. Like you got, he's in that upper tier. You know. But Paul Mooney, I watch Paul Mooney just for fun, just to be watching the OJ line about they were looking for, that was I mean the stuff he said. And he be hitting it too, cause he know. He know. He know. He did all that. And did a lot of stuff on Chappelle's show too. And a lot of prior stuff. And he did co-writing on Sanford and Son. He was all in a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. When you know the behind the scenes stuff, if you a student of that, then you're like, wow, your mouth goes, wow, he was a bad boy. You know. So yeah, I appreciate you when you see that because I like them both, but I because when I put in totality, yeah, and he was funny too. He was funny. He was yeah, he had a hand in so much. He was what we call the editor's editor. He would clean everything up. There was a time I would have said Pam Grier without even thinking twice, but I gotta give it to Lynn Moody. And Pam was bad, but I gotta give it to Lynn Moody. But there was a time. Of course, if you had said who was my alternate one, Sparkle, Lynette McKay. If you had said Lynette McKay, yeah. Oh yeah, Lynn Moody. Okay, Denzel, my man, my man. Get your Denzel on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what's up. We know what's up. Know what's up. Oh yeah. There was a lot back then. It's just that Pam was kind of like the Charlie's Angel, like she got pushed. And for a minute, it was almost like the end all. Then I did like Lynette McKay and Shirley Frazier, but there were others. Mhm. There were others. There was definitely, Mhm. Yeah. I ain't with the messing with the kids. I'm kind of like this in Scarface, the movie, when Tony's like, "I'm not messing with the kids." Yeah, I know what he was. I seen his mess, and some of it, I'm gonna say it like this. Let me just address this real quick. I saw that mess. Um, right message, wrong messenger, and leave the kids out of it. But what he says about Jay Z, Beyonce, Kim, and the grown folks, it's true. Oh yeah, he is speaking the truth about it because they are lying. First of all, they acting like they don't know Diddy no more. They gonna pay for that mess. So I got a story for you on that. My parents went to college, and my aunt and uncle went to college at Tennessee State with Too Tall Jones, and he was bad. He was bad. And I remember when he tried to box, which was didn't work out too good. And I remember when he was on Different Strokes, he didn't really have much pressure. Mean Joe Green gonna get the dub though. I think the fact because Mean Joe Green, as great as the Steelers had everybody on that line, he really did stand out. But Too Tall was bad. It's like you just happen to be against a guy that had another gear, and I think Mean Joe had another gear. But that was back in the day when you earned your nickname, and his name stuck too. That's how we remember it. That's how you remembered it. But yeah, Charlene, yeah, he speaks the truth. Like I said, right message, wrong messenger. That's the facts. He ain't lying. And the thing is that he's talking in code too. Just kind of like Orlando Brown does. To an extent, Jaguar Wright did. They ain't gonna come out and tell you that the acts get pimped because then it doesn't sound fashionable. It doesn't sell it. Buffalo Bills fan all my life. I was a little boy with OJ. I didn't really catch all the total, but I was a Bill fan with it. Um, but they gave OJ love. They say he was the best player to win against. He plays both sides. He's the wrong messenger, but he has to be the only one that's gonna say it because ain't nobody else gonna say nothing because now they gotta act like they don't know who Diddy is. That's what's up. He ain't against folks. He's playing in a system that's against. Let me explain. The music industry is a plantation, so you have no support. What do you think Michael Jackson went through? Whitney Houston went through. Prince went through. Angie Stone, Pac, Biggie. What you think? You have no support. It looked like it because they playing in the field, but who are they playing in the field with? Who makes you rich? Who's making you a so-called CEO and putting that on behind you? You have no support. You with folks, and when you're with folks, you tend to get treated like Frankie Beverly or some people who kind of they dangle you. If you watch it carefully, you know what I'm getting at. I'm not saying anybody sold out or whatnot, but they did sell out. I mean, you in that industry, you got to do something strange. I tell it all the time: booty for looty, cheeks for checks, and that's what's up. And Paul Mooney talked about it too. That's what Pryor had to go through. I kid you not. Industry is not for the faint of heart. And Kanye, yeah, he got his issues, and but you know what? You got to look at what he's saying underneath the belly of it all, and just for the fact that the fakery of how they act like they don't know Diddy. That's why I call Cap on Beyonce and Jay Z and LeBron too. All that, all of them is connected. Shoot, it's gonna come out. It's already coming out. That's my little rant though. So everybody got quiet, but I just had to kind of tell it like that though. But yeah, it's deeper than it's no. He's doing what he's doing what he's instructing, programming, and then part of it ain't. But like I said, just keep it on the grown folks. Don't bring them kids involved. Just keep it on the grown folks. Stick to the grown folks. Cause Jay Z and Beyonce ain't what you think. You seen what's going on with Will Smith right now. Why I ain't had no problem with him with Chris Rock, he just really lost it all. He just so desperate. It's pathetic. Think about it. He literally got a suspended sentence. Living color. Now we talk music, living color. I like Fishbone's musicality, but they ain't got no songs. And Corey Glover can sing. I'd even go so far as I'm gonna say like a black version of Steve Perry and Vernon Reed. And I like Fishbone. Everyday Sunshine. I watched the documentary all that, but they never hit. They never. They with the right song, they would have been bigger than the Chili Peppers. Never had the right song, but Living Color got it right. They just didn't get no love, not for what they got. Living Color did the thing. Stereotype was my song. Uh, I like a lot of Living Color. I bought the first two, three, and I bought Fishbone too. Just that Living Color moved me more. But go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. The Cure. I like Robert Smith a bit. Now I was gonna go back to the Fishbone. If you really wanted to put them up against somebody, you could have put them against the the Bus Boys. That would have been more fitting to me. Anybody know I know about the Bus Boys, and they were underrated. I like some. They had that one cut that was funky that they did. Eddie was on stage with them because Eddie Murphy was behind them. Had that one cut. They could play, and they were what I call a college, especially in the 80s. They just didn't get their love. I like them cats. Okay. Anyway, feel free keep on going. We got some more. 57% saying yes for the Dodgers, so that's changed a bit. Okay, let's get it. We got about 15 more minutes live, so let's do it. Them Colts the best. They were underappreciated. I know. I remember when they were on MTV. Mick Jagger had a hand, I think, in trying to push them. Vernon did some stuff, but they got almost treated like a novelty, which was a shame. But Corey was bad though. Corey could sing. People in the know how good they were. Mhm. Just sometimes you get acts, like I said before, they did hit. But no, I like where you're going with that though. He has to because he don't want to be floating down the river, just like Orlando Brown. I peep out what cats be doing. People talk people crazy because they have to talk like they kind of the Lulu. Basically, tell you to read a room. Yeah, he's talking because he's talking with about a lot of money. I ain't, I just aside from the kids part is the part I don't like, but the other part, I ain't disputing him. He married Kim. You know what she doing. You know what her mama and them doing too. He's on a spectrum. I mean, he's got all that other stuff, but he's a money maker. And the thing about that's why they can't mess with him. He's still generating loot. That's a good one. And usually I don't get stomped. And I just ain't this time I'm not. I'll say this: I like Sam and Dave's songs better, but the Righteous Brothers had better harmony because the Righteous Brothers were like a precursor to what the Beach Boys did. and part of what Hall and Oates did. And I like their harmony. Sam and Dave had that call and response thing. I like their songs, which I groove to, even though all the songs pretty much sound the same. But I dug them though. Isaac Hayes and David Porter, I liked them. But the Righteous Brothers harmonies, um, Chain Melody. Like I'll give you an example. If you ever heard R. Kelly's "If I Could Turn Back the Hands of Time," that's what he got. That's where he got that riff from. Just saying, their harmonies was tight. I hear that. Again, I listen to their harmonies. You lost that love and feeling was the cut. You lost that love and feeling now it's gone. Whoa, 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 baby, baby. I like the way they did that. Sam and Dave had this gospel preacher deacon thing, which I dug. But the Righteous Brothers harmony kind of hit me just a little bit more. What's happening? There's no wrong answer though, because I mean, if you can go back and know who those acts are, more respect to you. But you really going back? I like them both, but I probably by narrowed American Werewolf in London narrowly. And then again, I ain't watched these movies in 35, 40 years. So you asking stuff I don't really, you know, it's not like something that comes on my feeder. Last night I did watch French Connection for the first time in ages, just with Gene Hackman. So, but there's a lot of stuff I haven't watched since. You got to go back. Yeah, and again, movies is a little bit different, and it's been a long time since I watched them both. You know, been a long time because those are the kind of movies that they don't really come up on my feet like I sit around and watch. So, but going back. Shoot, the last time I seen them kind of movies was back when there was 3D glasses and beta was out. So that should tell you something right there. That I put to you like this: if I find it in my feeder and it's in my, I'd watch it. Posse, I by the and again close, but Posse probably. And again, hadn't watched Posse in a long time. Let's see what I got. What we working with? Yeah. So one thing you definitely can you name a Hollywood couple who you feel is in a fake high relationship? Majority of them. Majority of them. Denzel. I'm not taking nobody over Denzel in the last. You gotta go back. There are actors that you could name, but nobody I've seen the last 30, 40 years I take. Nobody. Samuel Jackson is good, and when he plays a certain type of role as Denzel do, but Denzel just kind of hits in a different way. And I don't think Denzel. You got to be a leading man, and I don't look at Sam Jackson as that kind of leading man. I think he good, and I think he could maybe to an extent, but Denzel loaned himself to a different. It just took a different dynamic. So yeah, most of them are. Charlene. That's why they get divorced, and that's why they have all kinds of stuff going. Most of them, and I really don't, looking at some of that stuff is industry plants and all kinds of stuff that just looks generic. A lot of them are arrangements because they have, you know, companies that do that. Um, I think Pope. I like the chemistry of Samuel and Travolta, and it had a lot more going on. But Reserve was cool. First of all, before you go on, I'm not the biggest Quentin Tarantino fan for the record. I did a video. I was questioning about him being overrated. You know, I mean, he does, I guess, for this era. If you like his attempts at black films back in the day, and also Scorsese type of, Junior Whopper type of stuff, that's what he do. I'm not big on Tarantino though. I think they use the N word too much in a lot of his films, and I just think that he tried too hard. You know, I did like Jackie Brown to an extent, and I think that was a missed opportunity. So let me go back to your question about Samuel Jackson. That was a missed opportunity on him portraying Miles Davis. That was a missed opportunity. Took that a look and that vibe, it would have worked. I'm not big on Tarantino though, and I think that he's just a grab bag. It's second tierish. He gets a love to an extent, but he ain't even as dominant as you think he should be. I know. Because his films are pretty predictable. And he knows what he's selling because he has to sell the action because ain't a lot of depth in a lot of stuff he do. Not to me. And that's the difference where he didn't pick up about Scorsese. Scorsese did have like a romantic undertone with certain films he did. I've never felt that about any of the films that Tarantino did. They just missing that. So, oh, I know he is. I know he is. So is Spike. So is a lot of them. It's just that I don't feel that they really get beyond cliche stuff. Basically, he looked at Mean Streets and looked at a few other things and ran with it. You know, I'm just not big on him. That's all. And sometimes I catch some boo birds, but oh well. Can't be forced to like people that I think that are, there's decent, but I ain't blown away by him. Good times. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. But I will say this. I am friends on Facebook with Dwayne Nelson, and I do follow Ernest Thomas and D. And I did like the show. And I will say this. It was probably one of the blackest shows that wasn't felt black, and that it felt like it could have been had a certain type of vibe. So it had a coolness about it. And Fred Berry, I see his wife. Yep, 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 yep. I see Fred Berry's wife on social media. But Good Times with John Amos was everything. Esther Rose was everything, and it just hits different. That's all. And of course, I do sympathize. One, you know what they got in common is Eric Monty. Black man was behind both them shows. He didn't get no juice, no Lear, and they hustled him out of it. So, but that's another video, another story. Good Times until they got rid of John Amos was it was John Amos will always be the TV dad for me. So Look, if you can go from playing Kunta Kinte to doing Kansas City Mac, doing Mary Tyler Moore, all the way to Coming to America, he was underappreciated. That dude was bad. That dude was a full range actor, versatile. And Jim Brown was good, but he pretty much was. It pretty much was like one trick pony to me though. But John Amos was the truth, y'all. Look at the roles he played. That's the difference between, you know, just saying, just saying. Diane Carroll, she a little bit more going for. I like Kit's persona, and I thought she was catchy. But Diane Carroll moved me more. From Julia to Dominic Devereaux, come on now. You go from first African American playing a nurse on TV to doing Dynasty, 15-year windows, and just had a certain command and personality. Kid was bad though. Don't take nothing from Kid. Just hits different. That's all. Good question. A way to keep me on my toes though. Ooh, now that is a heavyweight battle. Two different types of shows though, because you gotta remember something. Live audience, but a real live audience. It's almost like sketch comedy. Um, and the Love Lucy part, I love the Chocolate Factory because I once had a part-time job doing that, so that's crazy in real time, and it wasn't fun. Um, I gotta say Carol Burnett because the Harvey Korman, and Tim Conway, and also with Vicki Lawrence. You know, Desi was bad. That Love Lucy cast was charismatic, but the Carol Burnett show was like you had to be around back then, and you had to really understand the characters and making it all work. And think about it, even Tim Conway had a show. Vicki Lawrence was good, had a hit song. So I like Lucille Ball a lot. Carol Burnett was cool. Lucille Ball was like a groundbreaker. So no Lucille Ball, no Carol Burnett. But if you ask me about the shows, I'm taking the Carol Burnett show. Ask me who was impactful was Lucille Ball. You can't have one without the other. And Lucille Ball was that one that got things rolling. Okay. Yeah, Carol was bad though. We ain't gonna stick about it. Make no mistake about it. Okay, we got 6 more minutes. I ain't big on either one of them because I thought they were big, but I say Bon Jovi because of the songs. Def Leppard had I do respect they came back, but I think Bon Jovi gets the W for me. Memorable songs. But in all honesty, not acts that I exactly break my neck going, oh, but Bon Jovi songs. Def Leppard had bigger hype though, because if John Bon Jovi had been with, you gotta be kidding, you don't take the Jackson Five. And if you're talking about TV shows, it's the Jackson Five. The Osbournes don't do nothing for me. I was more of a Human League, and I like their sound. R&B was cool, but more Human League. There are too many songs I like. Please continue to hit that like, hit that polling up. We got about 4 or 5 more minutes. I'm gonna call it a night. Got 4 more minutes to go. I might come back tomorrow. If I don't, I'll come back Wednesday. Probably Wednesday. Be out tomorrow night around this time. So probably Wednesday. Unless I come earlier, but it'll probably be Wednesday though. More of a human leaguer though. They're not touching the human league. Don't You Want Me was a jam. Fascination. Human. Come on now. I like OMD alright, but move on from what? People's it's spiritual that you have to move on. Psychological. All depends on the person. Depends on the person. Oh well, you always thinking about it. Your spiritual energy has to move though. It's part of your evolution. But what you come to accept and what you want to accept is two different totalities. What you want to accept and what you come to accept. I can never tell anybody that they can't feel the pain because I lost grandparents as a kid and it still resonates. So you move on in the sense that you're blessed with, other gifts. But doesn't mean that you forget. Doesn't mean that you don't have memories of it. We're asked all the time to put yesterday behind us. Think about it. You do. And I never would tell nobody that because I'm a human being. That's why you ask me about mental illness, and I say that's why when I talked about slavery institutionalized systematic, people carry that weight because they know that there have been people that have been prosperous because they got hooked up, and that's because of the color of their skin, and that's the real reason. So, but anyway, we all do. If you're human, you do. People be lying all the time. Well, yeah, and there's nothing that you control. You can't hear me. Can you not hear me? It's I haven't had any problems with the other people that have responded so far. So, can you not hear me? responding. So you can't hear me though. Everybody else been able to hear me though. I don't know. Okay. That's not better. Let me know. Yeah. Well, because everybody's volume is different. Turn it to the max. Yep. Anyway, I'm on here for about 4 more minutes because I gotta go. I gotta go cook, eat. I've been on here for we done like an hour and it was an hour and 15. I will maybe come back. No, it's just a. I'm just using a backdrop. Very earthy and it's real. I'm just using a backdrop. That's all. It's gonna be tofu, having like vegan salad. All my food is plant based, which is I don't usually talk about it. I do some videos. Mhm. I'm not gonna disclose that, but because I don't really know you and you haven't really said nothing, you told me the volume was low. You come on here and say stuff, so until I know who you are and what you're going about, we can just have conversation. All to due respect. There's vegetarian barbecue. Who says I can't eat the same foods? Just it's plant based. I have sauces and flavors. If you know how to mix chickpea and mushrooms, you can make a barbecue out of it. There is a black dude that I follow on YouTube, very good content creator, and he makes it throw down. And besides, I'm gonna tell you something like now. I'm a black man. I cannot afford to be not taking care of my health. That's a fact. We don't get the same luxury to kind of, watch what I eat, drink, consume stuff. And if you notice, I don't swear because I think it starts with your tongue. So if I don't put that vowel out, I don't put no vowel in. Just saying. I take that. Not preaching nobody, just telling you some things I do. Oh, I'm not. Listen, I have friends who eat meat, who swear, who do stuff. I'm not judging. It's just that would work for me. That's all. I can't speak for nobody else. It just won't work for me. And I come to find out a lot of food don't even be hit no more for me. So it's just something I kind of lost interest in. If I'm being honest, some people's got transparency, being honest about it. Yeah, I'm not knocking what people eat. It's just something that I don't really partake in, and I don't like a lot of food no more. So no, you do what you do. Yeah, I had a buddy of mine used to say that too. Is it no bad for a woman not to cook than it is a man not to cook? You gotta depends on what gets you through the night. I'm not gonna sit here and play judge and jury. We can be different. Just have we share it. We come together. It doesn't I don't trip what's happening. Okay, what part you from? Everybody's food situation is different. Charlene's cool regardless. I mean, it's all good. just, everybody has a different way they are about stuff. That's what makes the world spin and rotate. So, yeah, he liked that part. Most of my family did. Well, not all of them. Quite a few didn't change. Quite a few have changed. I still do too. I just don't eat it with no meat. That's all. I got plenty of flavor on my food. And you'd be surprised at some of the dishes I didn't concoct. You'd be surprised. Yeah, I don't drink. I'm just mainly a waterholic. You know, call me a square. See, this is where I fall into I just don't, just not my thing. I have nothing that really, mm-mm. To each and their own. I am honored that people still be digging, when I put livestock stuff together. Because I do, you could say it's square. I don't like, I don't eat meat. I don't drink. My music runs from, oh, I appreciate that though. My musical chase runs from Beethoven to Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson in between with Bessie Smith. So you talking, yeah, I cover all them ranges. It goes the full gamut of eras, styles, and sounds. Oh, cool. You sure you're in the right place though? Funny story. Today played Air Supply on the walk. Just trolling, but I did. Hmm. Okay, so the poll is 50-50. That's cool. All right. I'm getting out in about 1 minute. Yeah, all that stuff. That's how it was back in the day. Music didn't have as much. We listen to music, man. They've been putting titles by people to keep them separated. To get back to Charlene, that is mental illness. All these labels. Hmm. When they label it, they trying to put you in a box. When they put you in a box, they don't want you to think outside of it. That's what labels do. That's what mental illness comes from. They look at you when you look through it. So when people say they like some of everything, imagine if they felt that way about people. That's my deep thought for the night. Imagine if you looked at music the way you look at. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. You have to have thoughts and prayers, but it runs deep. It runs deep. It's deeper than a lot of people can imagine. Oh yeah, I listen to that almost every week. Remember, and Bill Cosby played the bongos on the beginning of that song. So a little tribute for the ones who don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to roll. I do got to go. Either tomorrow come early or I definitely be back Wednesday. So appreciate everyone that came through. Now, do me a favor. Besides hitting us, likes, comments on the videos, and then get requests and everything, then we can go from there. Maybe tomorrow, definitely Wednesday. If I come, it's only briefly tomorrow earlier, but appreciate you. Definitely Wednesday though. So be on the lookout. Appreciate you always. Thanks for the great questions, the time. Bless y'all. Peace. Have a great one. All right, I'm out one time. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke.